What's up, everybody? Welcome back to New Diamond Live. And we got today got some we got a full house. We got Mr. Vanini, we got Mr. Matthaus. Matthaus, did I say it correctly? Matthaus.
Yeah, that's right.
Leon the Lover. And we got Mr. Jack from Foundations for the Foundations Remix Contest. And I'm really happy you're all here. And first of all, congratulations, dudes, on making the winning remixes. I think we were pretty much agreeing on a lot of things, didn't we, Jack?
We were on the ball.
Yeah, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to organize this.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, you have a nice label. Yeah, I was just browsing through the new releases. I saw Men I Trust, and there's another one.
Some nice edits, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a new one on Exclusive, which I just listened to. It's pretty nice. So you're building something there in Dublin, and obviously I've been to Dublin twice last year, and
that's right.
I like your scene. You're getting better opening times now as well, so
Yeah, man.
So it's
yeah,
really
hopefully
nice.
it comes in soon now. Yeah, we got approved for it, so it's just the implementation now of everything. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to go back and to take a good party until like 6 or 7 or 8 in the morning instead of having to stop at 2 o'clock.
Really lovely.
Yeah, and Matthaus, Matthaus is Matthaus or
Like everyone calls me as Matthaus. So,
Matthaus. Okay, I'll say
Yes.
Matthaus.
Yeah,
Matthaus.
that's great.
Matthaus. Matthaus is also
That's
nice.
good.
And because we met also last time I was in Dublin, you recognized me from the Diamond Lives, which is really funny. And it's cool that you joined as well. And do you guys know each other as well? Have you been to because you have these parties? Do you hang out?
We do at the same parties, don't we? We
Yeah.
be dancing away.
Yeah. Yeah, because
100%.
there is a lot going on in Dublin, right? There is a pretty big scene in a way. Just like the authorities didn't give you guys the sort of like the freedom to.
Yeah, it's a good scene. It's as genre wise, techno and kind of hard dance would be the main kind of sound here. But we have ourselves and a couple of other collectives, really trying to push this sound now, and it's beginning to grow now. So we're happy to see some results and some bigger names. We have Chris Dussy just announced there in Index, so
Cool.
and here in Now Club. So there's some big shows coming up this year.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing what the year takes us here, where it takes us.
Yeah, and when are these new opening times coming? Are these coming anytime soon or how?
So it's not so simple. It doesn't just it's going to be a lot of things that have to be implemented, and a lot of rules and regulations behind it. So whereas kind of we know as much as you, at the minute it's kind of grey area, but it's been approved and stuff like that. So the next step now, I'm sure we'll hear soon.
Yeah, so it has to go through the Dutch in Holland we have the Eerste and Tweede Kamer. It has to go to all kinds of stuff. Well, I mean, I'm very happy, and it probably does mean for your labor as well. You could throw bigger label nights or do more stuff. So probably you'll be ready for it once you get the green light for going longer, no? And
I can't wait.
Yeah, I know. Shauna's online as well. That's so cool. Let's see. We got Shauna in the house. Are there more Dublin people watching? Is Danny here as well? Because I know Danny got me there, so it's really nice. Yeah, nice. So fun. Okay, let's go to the winners as well. So you got Matthaus. You're living in Dublin, but you don't sound like you're from Dublin. So what is your story?
I've been living in Dublin for 8 months, so I'm from Brazil actually. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. And I
Brazil.
decided to move. Yeah. And I decided to move to here to learn English and also to have a job in IT. So it's pretty much these 2 points that I decided to come here. And also I have some Brazilian friend who lives here. His name is Royce. And he introduced me to everyone.
Royce Gracie.
Yes, no. And that's me.
Nice. Yeah, cool. You're there, man. I think it's a good move, and your music is amazing. I really liked your remix. You were actually one of the first one. I think the first one to send it in. You were very fast.
That's great.
So I'm looking forward to your workflow. How do you work in Ableton or do you work in other?
I work in Ableton.
Perfect. If you don't work in Ableton, you're fired. No, great.
Ableton
Okay.
is the best.
Nice. And did you have any releases before this? Did you ever
Like
release something?
I had one maybe 2 weeks ago. I released in a label called Finding Music from Peru.
Oh, cool! Drop the
Nice,
link
bro.
in the chat so people can check out your
Yeah,
music
sure,
there,
sure.
which is nice.
I can get later here.
Yeah, put it in YouTube or the Twitch chat. Everybody, we're live on YouTube and Twitch. Let us know if there's something up with the sound. Andy, hi, great you're hanging out. Karen, great you're hanging out. Super nice. It's getting fun. Okay, so let's see. Leon, the man hailing from the other side of the sea.
Yeah, I'm in Seattle, but actually, born in the US, but actually I'm more Irish than anything else, Jack. You'll have
That's
to
what I
know.
like to hear. That's
Oh,
what we
that's
like
good.
to hear.
My eighth great grandfather was Daniel John O'Connell himself. So
Wow.
we were meant to meet.
Oh,
It's
wow.
meant to be. It's meant to be.
Well, there you go. A remix contest gets people together, doesn't it? Lessons in
Absolutely,
life,
that's what it's all
connecting
about.
people. Yeah, yeah, it's super nice. So, and yeah, what's your story? I see you make a lot of content as well on your Instagram. Maybe it's nice to plug that, Leon.
I'm ramping up on that. Yeah, more on Instagram. I'm going to do more YouTubes this year. So we don't have that huge of a scene here in Seattle. There's a small underground scene, but I'm not out meeting people that much. So I find making the content is a great way to meet people around the world. And so that's why I do it. Yeah. So I'm going to keep doing more of that. I don't actually DJ at all. So I'm just a producer. And so this is my way of getting to know people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool. I like the channel. And you did also. Did you already upload the video, or you will upload the video?
Yeah, I wanted to time it after this one, after this live stream today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Can we already say? Do you want to keep it secret? You want to tell like you're gonna make a video about how you made it?
Oh, I just did a short little video, like some outtakes of me walking around listening to your track.
Ah, cool.
And like, you can envision me thinking of a remix and then a little bit of a walkthrough on what's in the remix itself. Just usual walkthrough stuff.
Nice. It's cool.
But I actually made it before I knew I would win. So I was really crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
I invested a lot of time in making.
Yeah. When you send me the I made a video, is it okay if I post it? I said, of course. Let's see, because the day after we were meeting, and then actually we both had sort of similar choices, and then we had to re-listen a few or like two, and yours was one of them. And then the next day Jack also said like, I'll go for Leon. That's perfect. Yeah.
Man.
So it was really nice how that came together. For the rest, we just picked the same ones, which was really funny. Yeah, nice. So we get into that more, and also like how you made it, and we get individual to all the stories in a bit. Mr. Vanini, the real name Gabriel.
Yes.
And you're just back from Brazil.
Oh yeah, I am. It was so lovely. It was so super lovely. Yeah, I'm from Switzerland. Yeah, I do only live sets usually, and I made this track like you came up with it in the group, and I saw the post and wanted to do a remix because I loved the one you did, and
yeah,
so that's so far. It's my first ever release, so I'm super. Excited for this
I'm
one.
happy. I'm happy to, and it's funny because Jack said that. Yeah, what did you think of his remix?
That was actually my favorite out of a lot of them. I thought it was unbelievable. It was the first one that caught my ear. I thought it was unbelievable. I said that was my first on my list. So well done on that, man.
Yeah, because it's kind of different. You have a really, really interesting style. We're gonna listen to all of them. I really like your bass lines, and because obviously you're in my Lessons in Life dojo, so I know your sound a bit. You've been joining me for the challenge that we did last month, and I really enjoy like the sounds you're sending. And the cool thing is you only use your computer to like record it, right? You're not really editing, or are you editing a lot after?
I do like stuff in-house, like in Ableton, but I mostly focus on my gear.
Yeah,
to
nice.
Make it authentic.
Yeah, so now we'll go over your gear in a little bit. I think it's nice to go one by one, so we'll make the same round in a bit. I'm really happy you guys here, and really thankful that you've been participating. I'm going to plan a lot more stuff like this because I think it's really nice to use the platform to for people that make nice music and invest a lot of time in it, and they need to have a platform, and it can be really hard to get signed these days. And it's nice to have Foundations, Mr. Jack, joining me here. Is there any news that you'd like to share, Jack, over plans with the label? Any upcoming releases you wanna promote besides, of course, the Understand It EP with the remixes?
This year we have a lot of shows booked into the summer, and we're taking a few months to kind of regroup for January to March. It's to be quiet in Ireland anyway, so shows wise we're going to keep it pretty much quiet from up until April, and then we have I can't give any details away, yes, but a nice international act. We're teaming up with Calamity, so Danny and the lads, bring someone over there.
Calamity events, no? Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
so we're teaming up with them in April, and then we have a few nice collabs we're doing. I can't give away the name of the label. We have an Italian label and a UK label we're teaming up with as well in the summer. So yeah, so some well-known stuff as well. So I'm pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, happy to hear, man. Well, all well deserved, because you've been working a lot on it as well yourself for, I think, for years already, right? You've been pretty much on it, and you also started to up your own producer game as we talked about. So it's nice. Maybe January to March, you have a little bit of time to just bang out tracks.
For sure. That's it. Yeah, that's nice. The
plan. Yeah. I'm also like really moving. I traveled quite a lot last year, and this year I have only one more travel to Holland, and for the rest I'll be home, and I'm gonna focus on making music only. Like the challenge we did last month, also in the dojo. How many tracks did you make, Leon? Actually,
I didn't join in for that one, but I'm gonna join in for the next one.
Because you usually make a lot of music, no?
Yeah. I try to do 4 a month. Yeah. But I just joined midway through that. So
true. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, not everybody joined as fast as Vanini did, though. But we did got some people like Topsky. He's not in the show. He didn't make a remix for this. He has a bit of a different sound, but he also joined every day. He made something literally every day, so it's really nice. But yeah, I think it's just, if you invest so much time into making music, you will see results. I finished like 5 tracks only this week from all jams from last month. So it's really, if you do something every day, maybe it's a half hour, an hour, a little loop, it can really give you a lot of stuff for the next month. I had one loop that I really liked. I was like, oh yeah, now I'm going to finish this one. Within 2 hours, it was like almost done, So if you have something cool from a jam, that's really nice. So, all right. Well, Jack, thank you so much for organizing this. When will this be out? When are we gonna...
Yeah, so we're looking at the start of March. It's looking like, or the end of February. So I have, I just have 2 scheduled in before that, and it's the one up after that. So yeah, it's definitely March latest anyway. So we'll probably aim for mid-March. Probably that was probably what we're looking at.
Yeah, super nice. Well, guys, get your pre-masters ready and send them over to Jack. I put you all in the mail today, right? So you all have each other's email, so you can all just you work it out together. And I'm super happy we're gonna do this. I'm really excited. Okie dokie. Hey, Joost is here, Mr. Den Draai. Yeah, Joost always gets a shout out. Joost was my first dojo joiner. So, and what does he say? He can't stay for long. Still have to eat and go to a birthday. Always on the move, Mr. Joost. Okay, let's start with the first tune. Matthaus, you're the first one because you're on the top left of mine. So if you can click on the green button called share screen, you will get a pop-up. And in this pop-up on the bottom left corner, you have an option to share your sound, and there's also an option to make it stereo. Do you see that? Yeah. And then once you've done that, it's all good. We can go share, and then you will see your screen. And boom, there we are.
Let me know if you're seeing.
Yeah, we're seeing it. We just have to see what audio output you're using, because you can't use. Well, we already hear it. Perfect.
Perfect. So can I start?
Yeah. Just let's play a little bit without the DJ friendly intro. Let's play it from like around almost 1 minute, so we skip the DJ friendly intro. Nice. So maybe, so a round of applause for Mr. Matthaus for making this nice tune.
Thank you.
I really like the way you've kept the original, like the intro that I have in like boom boom. That's still like sort of in there, but it's slightly different, which is nice. And I like the way that you are very, very patiently with the synths as well, like the little jazzy part. Also comes pretty late with you, and I like the delays on the understand it. It's really well.
Thank you.
Well, actually,
actually, this remix, I think I use most of your stems here. Like I almost didn't create anything new here, just some synths here, and that's all. Like modify everything that you made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting way of going about it. Sometimes you can use a lot of the same stems and it's just like tweak them a little bit or change them or filter them or whatever. But yeah, sometimes it's also nice to make a totally new thing. But I really like the way you've put it together. So maybe you can take us a little bit through like what you've used sound-wise. I see a lot of analogs there, but let's start on the top with the kick and the bass and just take us a little bit through like how was the thought process and how did you start and yeah.
Perfect. So first, before I start here, like it's gonna be my first time in doing this process, this diving. So
no worries.
I'll try my best here.
Take your time, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, like here there's a simple kick. But I also use a tone as a mid in top layer. So move here. All right. So just put this tone to make it more. How can I say? To have more body in the kick.
Yeah. It's like a layer.
Yes. Like I love doing a lot of layers in my tracks because I feel like they have more body and so yeah, I think it's cool. And here in the bass, like so I use a preset here that comes from Ableton, which is this.
I was actually going to ask you. I thought you were using. I thought you might have been using something else for that. So that's just a stock Ableton, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like
yeah, man.
Here,
it's beautiful. It's a lovely dubby bass, man. Really nice.
Thank you so much. Like here, most of my projects here that I made in Dublin, like I'm using just the Ableton plugin. So yeah, I'm trying to be really, really simple here. Nothing. Trying to to do nothing much in these projects. So I think here, like I also use the bass from your original track. So I try to make a question answer in this part here, just to give you more interesting in the track,
Yeah. Yeah, the call and response is very important. It really worked out really well because I also used that approach when making the track. I really wanted to do like everything needed to be call and response. It was like call and response day. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try like boom, pop, pop, boom, to make everything. And then when you have a flow like that, it's nice. So it's good.
It's always nice, like,
yeah.
And here I just put another sub just to give it more
body,
more body in the subbing. So I just kept the midi frequency here in your bass. So yeah, it gives a nice.
Can you solo kick and bass together? Like yeah. Nice,
lovely.
Yeah,
just your bass sound here, like.
Nice.
It's lovely and dubby, man. I really like that.
Yeah, and it's also the pattern is nice and driving, and it's funny because the original bass that I had in the track, that was actually the reason I started the track. I found this old project which said "great bassline, dude," and it was just a shitty loop, but the bass was like a great bassline, dude. So I thought, okay, I'll start something new with that bassline. And it's the bassline I made in Operator. Pretty cool. Because Operator is such an amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, actually. You can make like the release. I announced I did the Find Another Way track on Origins with Ari earlier this year or last year actually, and that was totally made like 909 core kit, Operator, and only like 90% stock plugins. So you don't really need all that.
That's what gives one above for Ableton for all the FL studios listening here. Yeah, all the stock Ableton plugins are unbelievable. It's endless possibilities.
I think with
Yeah.
any sort of DAW, it should be possible. It's it's not the tools, it's how you use it, what you have.
How you use
and
them. Absolutely.
but it's it's also sometimes I'm like, okay, I should use only Ableton stuff and really, really master that shit. But also, it's so nice to have different options, like to take a Diva or an Omnisphere or Arturia, like the 106, super nice, to use. So, there's
It's just the right balance. If once you don't find yourself buying plugins just to find new sounds, just kind of like I think people think quantity over quality with that stuff. You know what I mean? So
that's the
I've
point.
just absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Sometimes it's also fun to buy new stuff, especially around Black Friday.
sales.
They know the
All the
find it,
sales.
man.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah. And they're like,
I fell in the hole. Yeah, I fell in the
waves,
hole.
only $19. Oh, let me just buy 3, and then you've got 3 new plugins you never look at again. You know, it's like horrible. They do this to us, but we do it to ourselves. Okay. Anyway, drums.
The good point from in my part here is like my computer is not too much here, so I need to keep it simple as much as possible, because otherwise I cannot produce any song anymore.
Gonna explode.
Yeah, it's gonna explode here. So moving on to
Maybe good, to
drums. Like here, the same, just using a clap as a top end sound, in adding the snare to give more body. Also, before I start to dive in the drums, I want to show you this return that I use a lot in my tracks, mostly my drums, which gives this kind of glitch sound.
Nice.
Like, really love it.
That's nice.
What adds to the drums, it leaves more interest in the sound.
Yeah, interesting. And you just sent some drums there, like some
Yeah.
or the whole group.
I send the whole group.
This is like a little Vanini trick, also.
Yeah.
I know Vanini is now like, let me.
Like I love it, putting everything in random and try to play around, just to make it, to see what happens here.
Yeah. Nice. This looks great. It's also like this is a bit warmer. This wave shaper is really creative. I need to use that more, actually, man. I've seen more people. It's good you also use the LFOs, to make it move slightly, so it's changing with the echo. Good move.
Yeah, it's a great technique, this one. Like I just found out on YouTube, so using
nice,
a lot. So here, same the same pattern for the hats here. So I have a layer. So same setting here, like just giving one hitting the middle and the other one on the sides. Just giving some swing here, but it's more in the background, just to fill up a bit the high hands here.
Yeah.
Simple shaker.
Yeah.
In the percussions here. So it's a bit full what's happening here, but like this one just give a nice background with the clap. So you can hear just to fill up more. Yeah. Simple part. And this one I use, it's not here anymore, but I also use a lot of this plugin here. Let me take this MDD Snake, which is a sequencer. So I just built this pattern here using this.
It's like a randomized, just hits. Yeah.
And trying to fill up and remove what is how can I say, like it's not more trying to leave it more simple here.
So something is not working, you'll just delete those notes and you get left with the ones that do work, basically. It's a nice idea starter.
And trying to not clashing all the sounds here. For example, this part with this one, like this one I just left because as I said, it's going I think it's going to happen in the background, so it's not so critical to make two things hitting at the same time here.
Yeah, once it's not fighting for space, it's like there's no rules to it. Once it's just not, they're not fighting for space, I suppose, you know.
Yeah, and you get more groove by having stuff like sort of like talking to each other again, like it's sort of like the call and response, you know, having this clap every time in the end, and then some little perks in between, and this clap sort of like ends the bar, right? Yeah, it's cool.
Yes, and here I think the processing here is so much simple. It's so simple, like just using chorus, which this plugin is really nice.
I love that one.
Love that.
Yeah, the free one, eh?
And also doing this kind of returning here just to give more depth in the sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my drums are really pretty simple. But
cool. Do you have anything on the group? Do you process it on the group?
No, like this is not the final project here. It's just
you like you're gonna make a mix.
Just the creative one.
Yeah.
Then I export everything. And try to make the mix here.
Ah, cool.
So moving to the synth group.
Yeah.
So, like as I said, the synths I created here, I use just analog. So everyone.
Yeah.
Let me open up everyone. So this one is just I made with the analog here. So really simple sound, like
the tantra really is a winner. Huh?
Yeah, but this plugin here, I really
cheat code. That tantra, it's a cheat code.
Yeah, it's a game changer. This one, I like it.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's such a great tool to get ideas, or you can really rock everything through it and see what you can get out, sample it and put it back in. It's a great tool to sound. Some people say, "Yeah, but I'm done with it. Everybody's using it," but there's so many ways of using it that you can actually. It doesn't really matter. It's just a tool. I think it's. Yeah, again, it's like how you use it, and it's nice. I think it's well done, well dosed as well. It's cool. I like it.
Definitely, like it's a game changer for me. Like, it's really.
Yeah, shout out to Aaron Volta for putting me onto this. I think I remember it was him. I first thought it was Joko, aka Coulter, of course now, but it was Aaron Volta who put me onto this. I think it's like 2020. In one of the diving lives in the first season, I was in Ibiza and he showed me this, and my mind was blown. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy plugin.
Thank you so much, my friend.
It's a lovely one. So yeah, as you can see, it changed completely the sound here. So when I turn in, like it's another sound, and it really fits well in the sound, in the whole song here. Just giving this nice bed.
Yeah, rhythm wise also really on point.
Yeah, nice. Man.
So cool. And you're just like using analog only and a wavetable. It's like refreshing.
Yeah, for sure.
And so this one, let me see. This is just to give you more like a chilly vibe, after before the break. So just to give it that nice and chilly vibe. So just preparing the break. And here I use the same plugin. I'm using analog and just tweak a bit here.
There's a detune to make it sound a bit wider. Yeah. Nice.
And here I'm using another trick that I found on YouTube, which is really nice. So I'm preserving the original sound, and here I'm using the same idea, but the LFO is working in different regions here. So this one is more in the mid. And this one is working more in the heights. So
and then you get the original chain and
like nice I have two movements here happening, in one in the middle and another one on the heights. So
nice. This is a really cool effect rack.
Yeah,
like this one is really nice to do.
Do you save also your racks? Do you save them? Because
Sorry?
this is called audio effect track. Don't you
No,
save
no,
it?
like I always open up a new project and put everything there. Just
You might want to save some
it's the
stuff,
You can
man.
save
Build
it,
your
yeah.
own
Yeah,
library.
I can do this,
Yeah.
but like
These are
I like to exercise my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good
good,
to also
good
start
habit.
over.
Good habit, yeah.
You
for
would
sure.
love my. You need to join the Lessons Live dojo. We're doing a challenge this month, which is one track with one synthesizer. So you pick like operator or wavetable or analog or blue, or I'm picking blue this time from Rapapa, and you just make a track with one synth. That's the mission this month, and it's nice.
Oh, that's a great challenge.
It's a good challenge, yeah, of course, because then you really use these type of things. You only, if you only go for Ableton stuff, it's really good. I also use Tantra sometimes in one of these projects that I do with one synth, but it's a great exercise just to learn more sound design because it's so hard. What you've done here is pretty hard. People often go, okay, let me use some samples, put a sample in a sampler, and then they have a great step. But making all this stuff yourself is actually, and still have it sound like something, it's pretty hard to do
great.
because if you try and make a track from scratch with one synth, it's so hard to get it to a certain sound that you really like. So just
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And this is a good exercise to understand more what the software are offering for you. So
Yeah, it's good, man. It's nice to see you work like this and like using so much stuff from the
right.
Ableton.
So here the other samples here I just use it, all of them are from the original song. So this one I think it's the same. I just turn into how can I say into the key of this track. So I think it's the same. It sounds the same as the original one. And let me see this one. The same happened.
Oh yeah, this is a whoop whoop.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah. I loved. I started out with this one. This was the first one I got. I think I opened Loop Cloud and heard this coon coon. It's like ooh, and then I had this understand it. Like I think it's a woman vocal that I pitched down until it's understand it.
I kept this in my project because it was really sitting so nice in the track. That
Boom boom. Yeah. I had the same thing with that sound, man. I just I'm glad you didn't do anything to it. It was really nice to have it like this.
Lovely. So and here's just a pad. This one, like again, just using a few process here, just
flicker
phaser
device. Yes, it's like a phaser, yeah.
And the chorus, and that's all. Like here, it's nothing much in this, but it's really it sounded what I wanted to sound. Like it's kind of dreamy sounds.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Like just giving this nice chilly and dreamy sound.
Yeah, and if you take that away, then you suddenly have a nice transition, from the dreamy stuff to the more beat stuff. Really well done.
Yeah, like just give it this dreamy sound, then just go back to the drums and the bass hitting hard.
Yeah.
And here is what, like most of my tracks I like to keep the surprise in the break of my tracks. So in this one, like I just wanted to preserve your melodic.
Yeah, it was my solo.
It was a great solo.
Yeah.
I want to preserve that and just keeping as a surprise in my track. Just to, I don't know, like I love to do this, like just like warming up the listener. Then I just give it the surprise in the break here. So this one is your solo.
Yeah.
Like
nice.
I just did some cuts here.
I think it's well done, but like very patiently, and it has a nice sort of like vibe to it. And also when it comes in, you're like, oh hey, and it's nicely verby, I think, or the delay. It's like nice in the background, which is really cool.
Yeah, for this one, let me see. Actually, I'm just using here this delay, but I have this automation here, so. Close to the break, close to the drop, it starts to change here. So I remove the original sound, it just leave the feedback here, the delay. So gives this nice echo and space.
Yeah, I love that.
Nice.
I love that delay really rocked it for me.
And here also comes from your sample, but I just try to give it some background sounds here using Tantra as well. So the original sound sounds like this. And after using Tantra, like so nice. Here is, I think that's all. And
well done. And did you do anything to John? I called him John, the understand it guy, because you also.
Let me see here.
What you do? What do you do to John?
So for this voice, I just preserve everything here. Just put this echo.
Yeah.
Like that's it is where I try to work in your track, but like for this track, I try to leave at least a bit of a spacey and dream sound. So I recorded this John's voice and put a lot of reverb here. So it creates this nice in-depth transition.
Yeah, fuck! I should have done that, man. I should have done it in my track. Why didn't I do that? I'm gonna go back. We're gonna change it, guys. Okay, I'll be right back. Yeah, it's a good move. And there's some background noise. I see background stuff.
Yeah, the same. I think this one is also, like I just duplicate this channel and put one in the left and the other one on the right. Just create more wire. Just to leave it wider.
Very nice, bro.
Nice. Yeah.
Symbols.
Background. That's it.
This one is just the snare roll.
Yeah. So it gets a bit more busy.
Let me see if
overdrive.
Like the reverb is increasing. Getting near to the dropping, and also I'm removing. Actually, I'm adding the body of the snare to give it more pressure before the drop.
Well done. It's very, very straightforward producing. Nice. I like it. Well, man, thanks for sharing and thanks for making this track. I hope you found it enjoyable.
It was lovely. It was funny to make it.
Yeah, and I'm excited for you to be on the Foundations. You're on the label of your own hometown, so you don't have to release all the way in Peru anymore. You can just,
that's right.
Which is super nice. So congrats and well done.
Well done, bro.
I got some nice little tips and techniques from this one. Really well done. Hey, Mr. Dan Tiago. He's the whole reason. Basically, Dan, if you would have never become my student, we would have never be here.
Wouldn't be here.
I think it all started with you reaching out to become my student. That's nice. You gotta send me some tracks, Dan. Haven't heard a lot from you these days. Nice. Okay, so Matthaus, thank you. Let's go to
thank you.
Let's go. Let's do the same round. Leon, you can share your screen. Same thing. You know the deal. You've been in the dojo as well.
Tested it this morning. Let's make sure
should be good. Should be good.
You have a big rainbow project there in front of you.
Yes.
See it?
I love a good red kick. My kick's also red always.
Similar project shape to Matthaus there, where I've got the lows, the drums, and the synths. But let me just play it. Let me play.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's take a little bit. Let's do it like after the friendly intro. And I don't know how much you want to play. Yeah, just take it. Yeah, a little bit.
Let's go through the main break here.
We don't hear anything. You might want to take your audio output to Zoom audio device.
That's good.
Oh, the structure and the colors are really, really nice to see.
Let me reshare and make sure I got it here.
Yeah, make sure to share sound. And you make it stereo as well. Hey, Fabian is online. Fabian Berg says hello, Leon.
Hey. Yeah, we're working on a collab right now. Fabian.
Nice.
Okay. Nothing.
No, Zoom audio output. So the output of Ableton needs to be Zoom audio device.
Got that set.
Is that true? Yeah. Then there's something on. I see there's something on solo. Maybe that's the point.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
round of applause for Mr. Leon Lover for making this
Super stuff, bro.
ultimate jazzy edit, because I really like it's very how you call it? It's almost dreamy, kind of sort of like floaty, dubby house. But then with the jazz, you took exactly the jazzy parts of my jam to use these a bit more, because these were my favorite. I always have to wait in my original whenever that part comes, because I don't use it as much. I should have used it more, when I hear your edit. It's really nice, and I'm curious to how you went to the process and what you used. And your pads are so smooth and silky. I'm really, really curious to how you've done this.
Yeah, well, I loved that yours was so minimal, and that's why I felt like I wanted to make a sparkly, dreamy version that was a lot brighter and happier. Because I actually struggle to make music as minimal as you do. It's hard for me to remove things once I start adding too many things. So I thought this was a good excuse to just go crazy and like add all the stuff I wanted to add. But yeah, so I'll go through really quickly here, channel by channel.
In the meantime, let's say hi to Donofrio. He also sent in a track. Didn't make it though, but it was a nice tune. I remember it. It's good to have you on the show, man. Nice you're watching.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, Camiel, to anyone that submitted any music, thanks very much. And listen, my inbox is always open for submissions for the label later in the year as well. There's always, that door is always there as well. So never be hesitant to hit me up. I'm always happy to hear some music. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, send some demos to Foundations if you want, and also thanks for everybody, of course, for joining the contest, because music isn't really a contest, but it's a nice way to open opportunities and doors. And feel free to it's like is it this info at Foundations Records?
Yeah, submissions at foundationsrecords.com.
Is that
you also up on Instagram as well? You also do Jack Murphy DJ.
You also do jiu-jitsu submissions at Foundations?
Not yet.
Cool. All right. Yes, Mr. The Lover, go for it.
Yeah, let's see. So I always have some kind of reference track on the first channel, and since it's a remix, I'm using your original track, and then I'll map number 1 on the keyboard to solo that. And I just find that really useful, either as kind of to keep me going towards a certain target, or in this case, just compare back to the original as I'm playing through, either to match the drums or what have you, to always have that there as a reference.
Nice.
Just to kind of keep me going in the same direction I started out in. So that's the first channel. Then I got the low group. The kick is just a rack full of kicks, which everybody will have seen. Probably picked one of the Joko kicks.
What a sample pack. One of the best around.
Let's see what's hitting there. Oops, come on, solo. There we go. Yeah, Joko kick 14. So I'll grab all the sample market stuff and the PIV packs and put them in there, or whatever kicks coming in. Kimba, DeMarzo, everything I can collect.
Yeah, nice.
And then as I'm mixing, I'll go through and pick again one that fits, that matches the reference, right? So
yeah, that's a great technique, putting them all into the drum rack and kind of playing about with them. I'd be doing that myself. It's a great technique because sometimes it might work at the start, and then you add a lot of mids and kind of high range to sounds, frequencies, and then it doesn't really go. So yeah, it's a great technique.
Yeah.
The bass. So in this case, I just use Simpler and sliced your original bass. A lot of times I'll use Sting to drive that, to start giving me ideas.
Yeah.
And
the Sting sequencer.
I probably just drew in the notes here because it's really simple. But that's pushing the Simpler to just pick out a couple notes from your
and there's also reverb on the bass.
There's a tiny bit of pick this up from DeMarzo as well. Actual noise, RC20 in follow mode with pink noise on it, or any type
so
of
it
noise.
cuts to the mix a little bit easier, right?
Gives you the fake analog kind of sound and brings it through the mix a little bit, and then I have the same again on a higher this bass end riff that just ends each, whatever that is, 4 bars.
Yep.
To let me pick out a certain note, and then I could actually play my own pattern there. I'll just use that in between each one. Yeah, all together, just have the noise, compression, and kickstart. these guys, not much on the individual bass parts. And then we've got the drums. So on the drum bus, got soothed because I'm lazy to take out any resonant frequencies.
Since I've sued, I've been doing exactly the same. Like on the which one do you use? Less mud on the bass?
You know, I
you have a
am
factory.
even
You're even too lazy to get a preset.
Just draw a big old arc. So for anybody listening or haven't seen this, these are the frequencies it's removing.
That's so cool.
So you just draw an arc over where you want it to remove frequency.
You don't seem like a lazy guy, Leon.
Well,
make a whole video about how he did it, but just to dive into suit is a bit.
I mean, honestly, I care about the music and the notes probably too much, like the chords and the musical aspect, and then the drums.
True.
Well, first groove, then music.
Yeah.
Then drums and then mixing. So by the time I'm mixing, I'm just looking for any shortcut.
Yeah. I have the same way. I use Suit. It's really good. I use it on my bass group. I have the D mud, the bass. Then on my music group, I have a harsh synth or something. It depends on what it is. So sometimes I'll look for something else. Sometimes on my cymbals, I just use in the whole hi-hat group. I do like cymbal D harsher or whatever, and I set it a little bit back so it's less intense. But I find that it saves me making all these little dips if I really want to go surgical sometimes, you know. And it with the Fab filter. So it's I really love the Suit. It's definitely one of my new favorites. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
sorry for interrupting your.
Oh, no, it's all good. Oftentimes you can hear the harsh frequency and then you go in and try and remove it. Sometimes it's just like, these drums sound harsh. Throw this on and soften them off.
Yeah, it's nice, like a little de-esser as well on vocals or on hi-hats. Yeah, cool. Okay, so you're also using the hyper compressor.
Yeah, freebie for parallel compression. This is super harsh. I'm sure people have seen it. You just mix in a tiny bit, 0.5% wet to give more... make the transients harsher, make the drums fresher.
A little bit gluey. A little bit gluey.
Yeah. This guy is one of the SSLG emulators. I'm just using this as a gentle compression, as a nice gentle compression on the drums.
You don't use the EQ on it?
No, I mean I do later if I'm trying to remove things. I will. Yeah.
I love the EQ on SSL. It's really
the other thing that's nice is it has this V gain and THD, which is their analog emulation. So by cranking these up, I didn't do it too much here, but this V gain, you start to get a little noise and saturation on your drum bus.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Again, it's the way to kind of soften things and bring it through the mix more.
Yeah.
Nice. So all these drum racks are going to be the same as that kick. Like I've got one for claps, snares, open hat, closed hat. Let's see if I have any other interesting effects. Oh yeah, Saturn I'm using a lot. So Saturn, again, I use pretty naively. Like if I want, it's almost like a multi-band EQ in the sense that let's play whatever channel this is. Because I'm on this one. So on this one, I wanted to bring out more of the low end in the sound for whatever reason, to get more of the hit sound for that hi-hat. So I just kind of basically just saturating 15 dB of the low end there to kind of balance out the sound or to bring out the frequencies that I wanted to hear.
Yeah, the cool thing I like about this is that you can because it's multi-band saturation basically, so you can have like your high end, you can saturate it differently than your low end, for instance, if you want. I remember Timmy P, shout out to Timmy for showing this in one of the Daamen lives.
Yeah, and same thing with that one. Yeah, so if you have a snare this is just a little bit, I'm boosting both, they're almost the same amount. But yeah, if you have a snare that's not bright enough, then do the opposite and boost the high end on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of spreads the spectrum of your sample. So I love doing that. Or it's super easy. So that swishy part was kind of a shaker. I'm using shifter in there to give the drum some layering, some texture.
Shifter is nice.
This other,
I think we're gonna see it again in a little bit.
Yeah, this other one is also similar.
Ooh. What's the PSP pseudo phase? What is it?
pseudo stereo.
Stereo, that's it.
This one you choose what
Classic.
depth you want. It's this kind of janky old plugin.
Classic, man.
But
Yeah.
I've seen so many people use it. I finally bought it. It just lets you position it in space. It's kind of like the Ozone Imager is the other thing I'd use to do this, to either make it wider or narrower.
Yeah, the C1 from Waves, I believe it's a C1. Look at the thing you can move. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. What's this GM Audio Ducker?
This is just basically the same thing as Kickstart, but it's Max for Live. So it's great if you're collaborating with somebody, because when you collect all and save, it goes with the project.
It takes the device. Yeah.
So it's another duck. It's just ducking. Let's see if we play this. See, it's ducking the pick. Should be. I think the yellow line should be drawn here. Might not be doing anything. But yeah, it's just another convenient kicker. You have to, or a side chainer, just adjust the release and tell you it sounds right. So that's the drums. Synths, got way too many synths, but I let myself go crazy. So there's this cool bass bleep. What I did, I think I used one of the Arturia analog emulations, probably in arpeggiator mode, and just resampled it and then sliced it and then drew in the individual notes. That's kind of answering one of the other pianos that's in there.
Yeah.
I use that for the fill right at the end of the break as well.
That's nice.
Nice.
And that one I drew in all these notes, probably took me 20 minutes to get that riff just right.
It's always the small things like that. It's always the small details that take the longest time.
It's a good riff, man. It's like I should take more time to make good riffs. I did that solo in one take, my friends. And then I just cut it off and took it out, and I was like, shall I do it again? I was like, but I kind of like it like this, But it's sometimes it takes you a long time, But sometimes you maybe need to take a little bit more time for things, That's you always say that.
This guy's just a pad gluing everything together. But I'm doing the frequency on the filter to give it a rhythmic. It's doing the call and response with something else.
Cool. So you all did this manually? You just manually recorded this with like a MIDI controller, right? Or with the mouse?
Probably MIDI controller, just mouse on here, and then repeat the pattern and then open the filter. Slide the whole thing up or down to open the filter more different sections.
There's so much good stuff here. We don't need all the big shots here. We can just do it with the guys that had like just a few releases.
Well, it's by virtue of all the amazing sessions that you've hosted.
That's true. We do need the big shots.
Notes minute by minute.
We do need the big shots. We do need the big shots, though.
Good. Now it's up to us guys to follow on and break all the rules and introduce the next generation.
There's so much, and there's it's always changing. I was speaking to somebody this week, and like this sort of like this whole scene, it's changing so fast. Like a year later, there's 5 new people, and you're like, oh wait, where's the old? And then 5 years later, you go like, hey, where's this producer? And you didn't even remember them leaving, or are they still alive? You don't even know. It goes so fast these days, and there's always room for new people, I think, and also like it doesn't really matter as long as you have fun, you make music. It doesn't, who cares?
That's right.
As long as it's fun, and this is pretty fun. I like it. Can do this all day.
I have your original stuff down here.
Go.
And this is where we're getting into. So I took my favorite stabs from that because I think you had some moving filters and stuff, which was cool, but it was a little too difficult to work with. So I just made a drum rack with 3 stabs in it. Not soloed on that. That's my place. Yes, that's
that one.
All that good stuff. And then I'm just triggering those. I think, and then I use that in 3 different channels. Trigger it 3 different ways to keep this the same callback to your original track. Sorted that a little bit. Put some erosion on it because it disappeared into the mix. Let's see. Now this is that same Arturia riff again, but just triggered a different way. Now there actually is a cool plugin here.
Echo Bode.
Yeah. It's
What
adding
is
that
this?
phase on
Sonic
it.
Charge.
This is some kind of weird flanger reverb thing.
Yeah.
Really great for adding, building risers and stuff. So you might just throw it on some random part of your track and then go through the presets and you get really weird sounds out of it.
Yeah.
So to my mind, it like takes any synth and makes it more modular and weird sounding. And then you might resample that. And if you play with the frequency shifter, you can build it, turn it into a riser or whatever.
Cool. It's a bit like Shifter in a way. The Shifter in a way has delay as well. It has delay and feedback, and it has a frequency shifter and LFO. So it's basically like.
But a ton of great
presets.
So you just kind of go through them and find something weird and resample it. Here I'm adding that flange on the end.
From Sonic Charge. Nice. Nice. It's a good shout. Echo Bode.
So that leads into the drop.
Cool. Yeah, it gives a nice little like it's on the way, you know.
A couple more notes, same thing.
Yeah.
These are your pianos, your solo. I cut it up just to make it fit, but tried to preserve the parts I liked.
Yeah.
Oh, I doubled it up actually I raised it up an octave and doubled it to make it a little bit happier.
I should have done that. Smart man.
I should have done it left and right maybe too, but
should have, would have, could have. Yeah.
And then we're into just pads. This is an Ableton pad. I have to save this one because I don't remember where I found it.
Juno. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, I was thinking, when is the Uno coming? But it's not even a Uno. It's like just the analog. Ooh.
That's just a big piano preset. I had to add the tremolo to the Juno though.
It's the frequency shift, the shifter again, huh?
And then we're into the vocoder thing. So this is I think this is kind of key to this particular sound. There's a carrier here, which is ultimately turned off. It's just a carrier for a vocoder, which is just a bright pad. But then really what you hear is a drum part pushed through that. So this is what the end result is. But that
it's just like a house groove.
Just a drum part, yeah.
Like tech house loop. Nice. Yeah. Actually, when I was making music with Ari used to always do this stuff. He's really, really like keen with this. It's nice. It gives a certain sound, you know. It's really like a certain genre. Like it pushes the sound into a certain corner. That's really nice. I like these sort of dubby vibes.
Yeah. So I think the real trick with that is to go in after you've got that laid out and edit the individual clips so that you get a call and response going with something else.
Yeah,
and use that to bounce off something else. But
yeah. And do you always take out a little bit of low end just to clear it out, like on the vocoder? Is that something you always just like very?
Oh yeah, make it a little less murky.
Yeah.
And I did make the release longer, which makes the notes more legato.
Yeah. That's nice to create tension and a little bit of variation with it. Yeah, cool.
Nice. So oftentimes when you're like using one of those, you can kind of hear a melody, and so I tried doubling that with a piano. But that was just over the line for too cheesy for me.
Oh yeah. La 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 la. Leon in Seattle walking around making a remix. Right. La 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 la. So yeah, okay, yeah.
I turned that off. I probably would have deleted that. But I left. It's good that I left it in. But sometimes you hear that's what the nice of the vocoder is. It's picking out different frequencies in that drum loop. So it actually.
I bet you will definitely nail that at some point. That you think like, oh, I've got something now which is really, really nice. You know, that maybe not too cheesy, or maybe you filter it down a little bit lower, or whatever. But I think it's a really cool technique to actually get that idea from a loop to a vocoder. That's super nice. Yeah.
And you can just take that off. Yeah, and you just keep the melody. This is just a wilder resampling of that. I think it was a different drum loop through the same pad to use in the break.
Lola Lynch says cool. I think Lola Lynch is also a really cool name.
This is a simple riser, just a sample, I think. Oh no, this is
some granular stuff.
I made that. Yeah, I made that. I think it's just Echo Boy or what's it called? Crystallizer. Sound Toys Crystallizer on one of the other piano parts, and then you crank it up so it has a long sustain on it, and get that sound. String, I know I heard you say the other day you can just make these house strings out of a saw wave, but
yeah,
there's the first string preset on the M1 synth that I love. It's been working perfectly lately.
It's nice.
Symphonic string.
Yeah, you also have the Roland one. I love the Roland ones as well. If you have the Roland Cloud, there's, you can get these old school strings from these old school machines. But, a saw wave sometimes with a little bit of chorus does the job, as long as the note's high enough. Cool.
Here is John.
Oh, yeah, John. I call it, yeah.
With a ton of echo. That's all.
It's actually a woman's vocal pitched down. It's too funny.
Jeanette.
Jeanette, yeah.
Joan. Downshifter. What is this doing?
Look at you make your own.
Easiest trick in
risers.
the book. Operator in white noise with an auto filter and echo over it. But what I did discover that's super cool is that obviously the faster you move the filter across it, the more of a zap you get out of it.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah. That's a
cool
way, man, for everybody that never made a riser themselves. Here you go. Good tricks, guys. Good tricks. Little crash.
Cymbal crash and party background noise.
Nice.
So, good vibes.
We should sample this stuff like ourselves. I was my friend Tripping Jagger was here in Valencia. We should have gone. He went into the park. I couldn't go that day, but we should have gone in and go to some bars and just sample like the center of Valencia and then use that in the track, man. I still have to do it. It's on my list. Go to the center of your city, take one of these field recorders, record some stuff, go home, use some of the noise loops, because you can use noise loops from your own city. Well, if that doesn't make it original, then I don't know. It's a fun little exercise, to go into the city, and just sample some stuff. Thanks for sharing, Leon. I really, or Adam, we should say.
Adam's my real name.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to make this remix and also taking the time to make a video of it. For everybody that wants to see it, it's Leon the Lover on Instagram, and they can find more videos of you talking about producing, right? Like how you do stuff. Yeah. So feel free to get some more info there as well, my friends. Right.
Thanks for letting me show it.
Yeah.
Well done, that, bro. Very good.
Nice. All right, then the last but not the least, Mr. Vanini. I really like your name. I always say Mr. Vanini. It's like you became Mr. Vanini for me. And because let's talk a little bit about the hardware you have down there in the back there.
Yeah, so I mainly use Is that
a Korg Micro?
The MPC 1000. Like, I love it. Like, I use it for usually only my drums.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I start this track. Like, I do the drums on the MPC and start like jamming on my modular stuff, like some plate stuff from Mutual Instruments, which is very nice.
Yeah.
To get these percussive sounds. And then I like work with my Digitact and the Octatrack, which are just
I like Ableton in a box, basically,
Exactly. And then I try recording everything while I do. Like, I do live jams, record them into Ableton. So I usually only work in arrangement view.
Yeah.
And then I just add what I think is nice.
Yes.
Actually, I have no idea where I'm going usually, so I just add and add.
And you just jam like a bunch of minutes together and then slice up or get little pieces of the puzzle and then start arranging it like that? Or do you like clearly record, okay, I'm going to record 32 beats with this and 32 beats with that? Or
yeah, usually I start like at minute 6 and just make a really long recording of like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I pick the best stuff and like align them and mark them in different colors.
Yeah.
To like
Hey, and do
something
you
like-
use any overbridge from like I know that the Octatrack
Yeah.
doesn't have it, but I know the Digitact has overbridge, so you can like get every channel separately into your DAW, no?
Exactly, you could. I never use it though because I have the multi-clock from ERM, which connects just the whole gear. It's like a MIDI
Yeah.
sender, and
Yeah.
it sends it to everything very perfectly. And
Yeah.
I can like change the shuffles, so I can like make it more swingy if I need to.
On the
which
MIDI
is super
clock,
nice.
yeah, I've heard of it. Like people use that in the studio to have a more solid sort of MIDI.
Yeah,
MIDI
exactly.
clock.
It's
Yeah.
very tight. It's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, nice. So anybody has any hardware questions or find Vanini also like on Instagram and bombard him with your questions about MIDI. All right, go. I really play the track from like let's say 1 minute in or so.
Understand it. Understand it. Understand it. Understand it. Understand it. Understand it. Understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. It's so
Well, that's
funky.
basically- Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Absolutely love that track, man. Absolutely love it.
oh, appreciate it a lot. Yeah, like I think it started out with the bass line, but on the Digitact. First I had like your bass line in it, and I kind of kept changing the tone of it. And then
Yeah.
I figured I do something my own
Yeah.
and
You
give
should.
the Vanini vibe.
Yeah.
And I have like usually what I do is like I just have like samples from sample packs from libraries and put them on the Digitact and just like tune them. Which is this like it's more like working together. Like I try to make always like two different bass lines which talk to each other.
Yeah. Like the call and response. Yeah.
Yeah, and like make your booty bounce a little. Like
Yeah.
give some
Happy vibes. You get me instantly happy.
yeah. And I think the main thing for this track is usually my drums. Like I focus my tracks a lot like at the drum. The focus is a lot on the drums,
Mm-hmm.
mainly like the hi-hats, like to make them very spiky, which is a MPC recording. Like I just jam, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like it's this special swing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
nice.
and instantly sounds different to other.
Yeah.
And I like to add a lot of different hi-hats, which sound very not very similar to each other, so they kind of don't interfere with each other.
Yeah, so they also work together really nicely, like little quirky bits and bobs there.
Exactly. And usually after like I have my basic drums, I feel bored of them, so I add in some percussion. And like one trick I always use, and which I usually always use is I have my own little percussion machine, which I have to make a shout out to Peck from the UK, which showed me this like technique to like change and use different samples for percussions. And you just put in some random notes. And you start like adding something very, very important, which is the scrapulator, which is like this frequency shifter preset, which is to me like very unique. And it creates always like a very randomized frequency shift. And when you like add it up, you can really play with it. So I usually then like adjust by hand and like play in the track.
And then you record.
Then I record it, freeze it, and always.
That made the Laser Boy.
Exactly, and I try to like convince myself to audio a lot of times when I produce, so I don't start like changing too much.
Yeah, solidify the idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, serious now.
It makes just like it adds a lot to the.
I have to say that the scrapulator it sounds like a sex toy or something to clean your anus, but it's actually a really good. I think you showed me last week, or right in the dojo meetup, you talked about this. And you said,
insane.
It's a really, really. I've been trying it out on a few tracks now, and it's insane. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's Ableton 11 only though.
Like, it's so you need to, it's in one of the presets of Shifter. Actually, I was looking for it. I was like, exactly. Oh wait, it's not even a Max for Live device. It's Shifter. I was like, oh, how did I miss this? You know, supposed to be an Ableton certified trainer.
Yeah. So the next, so what I kept from you is obviously this solo.
Understand.
Like I love the solo.
The solo. Yeah.
And I tried like adjusting it a lot. Keep it up. Like I think your track is a little slower.
Yeah, I think it's 125. I think I made it.
Yeah, and I left like the main step. I think I left in it as well. Yeah.
Everybody loved that step, and that's actually the first thing I like. Boom, boom. I was like, ooh, that's nice. It's just like a loop cloud loop. I was looking for step, and I got this like, ooh, gung, gung. I was like, oh, I can make a nice answer to this. Gung, 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 bam.
It's very, very special. It has this low vibe, which I love.
Yeah.
And usually what I do, like I open a lot. If I don't work on the Nord lead or the octa track for like my melodic stuff, I open up like Blue or something like this from Daamen, and like you use it in ARP mode like a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I did. Oh, that's Nord. Okay. Yeah, to create this like. And
is this an ARP from the North?
I think so, yeah.
But which Nord do you have? Because I have a Nord lead 2 here, and the ARP is...
It's a Nord lead 4.
Ah, okay, yeah, because in the 2, you know, weird, all my LFOs and all my ARPs, I can't sync them. I can send MIDI to the North, but then it still does its own thing. So why even have these options? They're not So I built like the most beautiful ARP on my North, and then I was like, all right. And then I wanted to like sequence it from my computer, but it doesn't do it. It just doesn't. If you send it a note, it's not in sync with whatever. You can't sync your LFOs and your ARPs in the old North too, which is horrible. But still, it sounds nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't use it too much, to be quite honest. Like I think you can achieve a lot of these stuff like with like plugins as well.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But still, it's a nice device. I like it.
And I think this one is through the whole track as well. It's like a vocoder. Or not that one. Which I usually, it's like, for me, it's like the Sweely technique, where you use like drum loops and for the vocoder, and for the modulator, you use like a pad sound.
Yeah, I used the Arturia OB, the Oberheim.
And then like a lot of...
Yeah, it's very similar to what you were doing, Leon.
Yeah, just faster moving filter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one was like the last thing I added, because when I was like finishing the track, I was like something missing in the high end. I added these very nice, which I think is a DX7.
Old school FM.
Somatic, yeah. And use like God Phaser, which is like my favorite phaser plugin to use.
Can you show it?
Yes.
God Phaser.
Oh, sure.
Let's see. God Phaser sounds like a Darth Vader, but then where is it? There it is. Oh, it's from a D16.
Yeah, I love them. They have very nice plugins, like the Decapitator, I think.
Yeah, Decapitator.
Like Decimort, like it's something I use a lot as well.
Yeah, they also have this free limiter, and I have the other one. I have the Decimort and the Decapitator. No, not Decapitator, Decimort and the
Devastor.
And I have the Tor reverb, I think, from them. Nice. Toraverb.
Nice.
That's it. Yeah, nice. Godphaser, cool. I need to check that out at some point. But I'm on a plugin ban. I'm not allowed to buy plugins.
Yeah, and what I usually like add during when I arrange tracks is these effects stuff. I tend to use like a lot of them usually, but since Laserboy was already pretty active, I just like used some very small things like which I use
the lounge lizard. I love the lounge lizard.
Play myself, and yeah, I think that's pretty much sounding it up.
Hey, and can I quickly ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah, I see a lot of UAD plugins. What sound? Do you have the Twin, or do you have an Apollo with more inputs?
Oh no! Like I have the UAD Spark, which is like the FS. You can use it on like without having the USB from them.
It's like $20 a month or so, right?
Exactly. I used it was like $1, like $1 or something. On Black Friday for like.
I had the same. I already canceled it. Because you know what what I end up with is all these nice plugins on my tracks that I used it on a remix that I just finished, luckily. But on the 22nd February, it will be over for me. I'm like, I'm not really gonna use. I want to use them, but I'm not gonna pay $20 a month and also if I can't like own them, and that way I like the plugin alliance kind of things better, or plugin boutique. You can actually buy the ones you like, and just keep those. So I really like the UAD stuff. So I thought you had like the thing.
Not yet. I think I will go.
I used to have one of these UAD cards, like a Firewire card, but Firewire is old school. I bought it like 12 years ago or something. So one of the first like UAD cards. What was it called again? The Duo card, and it was just a card for like DSP power, and then you could run these plugins. And I bought a few, but I transferred my plugins to friends, and they have like the UAD Apollo. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe also for the hardware, it would be nice having UAD Apollo with like 8-inch, but just stuff like 2K or something. So it's a big investment, obviously, but the sound's so good. The plugins are good. The hardware is good. Yeah.
I love the reverbs, like the
The
lexicon.
lexicon, yeah, man. I'm horrible that I have these. So the track I made, I used all these reverbs of the lexicon. I have a few, like early December. But then I figured, like, yeah, if I'm gonna use all this UAD stuff now, I'm gonna be at some point wanting to work on a plugin, and I hate it when it has a great reverb, and then I don't have that plugin anymore, and I can change the reverb to any reverb I have, but I sort of like still so used to the one that was already in that track that I need to have that plugin. I'm getting really, really neurotic about that. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Nice, nice work, and thank you as well for joining the remix part of this Daamen live, and all of you for just joining the contest. And I hope it will ignite you as a producer just to go, to follow your heart and just make more music and have fun doing it. Because it's not that hard getting a release at some point. If this is your first release, try to get yourself out there. Like for instance, the demo feedback sessions that I did last year in December, not like 2022 but 2021. One of them was Julian Feima, and he's now being played by like basically everybody in that sort of genre. And sometimes all you need to hear is like, hey man, you make pretty cool music, and just send your stuff to people. That's the only thing you need to do in order to get releases. And if once you have a release, you might get so motivated you're going to send something to the bigger labels, and they're all busy now, so everybody's is sending them music. But you might get lucky and maybe one release gets picked up. I did once, I remember I did a release on a label in Holland called Klopfgeist, which wasn't like a super big label, but they were super nice dudes. So we started working together. I did like a release on their label, and all of a sudden I got a message in my inbox from Darius Saroshian, like, hey dude, I really love this track. If you have any more, please send it. I also have a label. Then I remixed Josh Butler on the one of the first labels that Darius had. Then I met them all in Ibiza, and then he asked me to do a Viva Music track, and Steve Lawler used to be in one of my first heroes I fell in love with when I was like 20 years old. I was like listening to all this progressive stuff. It's like, wow, Steve Lawler. And then I ended up through like doing a small release, ended up doing bigger releases because some nice dude from the UK that apparently was on all these labels with these guys thought like it would be nice to include me. So Darius, if you see this, thank you so much for that, because that gave me a lot of opportunity and a lot of chance to grow my profile. So doing these little things here and there, or doing a small label release, could be a step into something bigger. Because if a DJ is digging, if it's a real DJ, they're digging for stuff, so they're also checking the smaller labels. You never know. Who knows? Yeah. You do a release on a small label, it gets licensed to Defected, and your track blows up. It's all possible. So I'm really happy you guys took the leap, and everybody that watched this back or either is watching now, if you have hopes and dreams and you want people to hear your music, just go for it. That you only live now, and if you keep waiting, you're gonna be old and gray and going like, maybe I should have sent this demo. Just fucking do it. That's it. Anyway, so the release will be in March, right, or something?
March.
Super nice.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to go at some point. Go to Dublin again. I'm staying put a lot this year.
We'll go for a drink when you're back. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. We can definitely set that up at some point. I think I'm gonna stay put for a lot because I just got this nice studio. It cost me a lot of money to get all these fucking panels because I'm not handy at all. So I'm gonna stay put and make most of the studio here and make content for everybody. And but as soon as I'm gonna go out, I'm definitely gonna come to Dublin again. And yeah, I hope to meet you all one day in the flesh. That would be really nice. But
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
So this was the session. Next week I'm not there. The week after I'm doing a session with Era Brazil, and this is maybe a shout out to everybody. Also, if you want to support me doing this, I have a Patreon. Vanini and Leon the Lover. You guys became patrons as well. You can still join. You don't have to pay a lot, but everything I earn yearly, I do 3%. I donate from the profit. I donate to the Amazon forest. So in 2 weeks, I have a little session with Anna, the girl that's organizing it there. They help farmers to grow smarter. So we're building back Amazon forest just because we're you're buying sample packs or doing a course or joining my dojo. So that's maybe nice to check out. It's patreon.com/lessonsinlife. And then the week after, I think it's time for Jordan Peak. So that's maybe a nice one to watch. Jordan is a super enthusiastic guy, an amazing producer. I used to bang out his tracks like 10 years ago, and I'm glad he's back on it. So yeah, that's going to be fun. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thanks everybody for watching, and see you in 2 weeks.